We are heard around the world by everybody and their mama. It's amazing. Amazing. Jay is a first-time caller out of Australia. Australia? Jay, thank you for calling. You're on the air.
Hi, Jesse. How are you?
All is well, Jay. How you doing?
I couldn't find, but who'd listen, right?
That's right.
Look, I've been listening to your show now for a couple of months, and I'm calling you because basically my life is a mess.
A mess?
I found out, I found out through you that I'm a beta male.
Beta male.
And my father was a beta male.
Beta male.
My grandfather was a beta male.
Beta babies.
Anyway, I'm in a bad situation just in life at the moment in general.
What'd you do?
Well, I've had a lot of medical problems for the last 10 years.
Uh-huh.
So I haven't been able to, really live life and build my own life.
What type of medical problems are you having?
I've had a lot of problems with my body, and I've had to have quite a few surgeries. And, I take, like, morphine pills, things like that. And it sounds crazy, but for the last 10 years, I've probably got 3 to 4 hours sleep a night, and I've been on the strongest sleeping pills they make. You know roofies?
Do I know what?
Date rape drugs?
Date rape drugs?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I heard of that, yes.
Yeah, well, I got prescribed roofies because nothing else would help me sleep. And now they don't work anymore.
Amazing.
And, I have no peace. And I realized that I hate my father from listening to your show.
Yes.
So, that's really what I wanted to talk about.
Why do you hate
today.
your father? Why do you hate your father?
Well, I knew from the age of about 3 years old that he didn't care about me at all.
How did you know that?
Because my grandparents, I mentioned it to them, and they actually told me that when I was 3 years old, I went to them and I said, he doesn't like me, he doesn't care about me, and I don't like him. And I asked my mom about it, and she told me that that was true.
Why didn't you ask him as an adult? Why didn't you ask your father if he loved you or not?
I haven't seen him or spoken to him in 17 years.
You know your grandparents and your mother were evil for telling you that, right?
Well,
they should have told, if they had been decent people, they would have told you to go and ask your father. They would not have told you that about your father. And I guarantee you it's not true. But because you have not gone to him and asked him, you have judged your father based on your mother and your grandmother and I guess his action. And you are never going, you're going to suffer, Jay, until you ask your father, until you forgive. Because whatever you're going through with your body and all that stuff, it's not a big deal. The big deal is that you hate what you're going through and you're getting back what you're putting out. You cannot have peace on earth and hate your father. You don't have a right to hate your father, and they didn't have a right to tell you that. They didn't love you.
Yeah.
When your mother and your grandparents told you that, they did not love you. They wanted you to suffer. They want to control you.
Right.
And you need to ask
a lot about. Go ahead.
You need to talk to your father, not to the hypocrites.
Okay. I know you talk a lot about mothers turning their children against the father.
Yes.
But you see, in my opinion, I think, to be honest, he did that himself.
He did what?
Because he did something very bad when I was young.
What did he do to
And,
you? What did he do to you?
well, when I was about 9 or 10 years old, my parents sold their house and they were going to build a new house themselves. And then one day he came home and he said that all of the money was gone, like he gambled it away or something. And it was more than $500,000. This was back in the late 90s. And I remember my mum went crazy and she ran outside down the street. So I chased after her. And then she told me that what happened. And then she took off her wedding ring and she threw it into the trees. And, on top of that, he became a drunk and an alcoholic. And then after time, she stayed with him. And they said, well, we'll rebuild from the start. So we moved away, and then we had to rent a little house somewhere. And then after a while, they're trying to rebuild. My mum stayed with him, and we found out that he was cheating on her, and he had with some secret girlfriend. And he did very nasty things. He tried to run my mother over. It's funny talking about it now. Things like that.
How old are you, Jay?
30.
You're 30. Jay, I got to take a top of the hour news break. Can you hold for me?
Yeah.
Hold on. Do not hang up. I really want to deal with it. This is so funny. Hold on, Jay. And I noticed the same problem we're having in this country is happening around the world. And it starts in the homes. And it's due to beta fathers and angry mothers. They're setting their children up to fail, to suffer in life. I want to go back to Jay. Jay is a first-time caller out of Australia. And Jay, just at near the top of the first hour there, you can podcast all the shows. And Jay was telling me that he's made a mess out of his life. His life is a mess. And his body is all messed up. He can't sleep. And just hasn't been able to sleep well in the last 10 years. He's 30-something years old. And it's just a mess. What a mess. As Joel was saying, what a mess. Jay, I want to go back to Jay. Hey, Jay.
Hey, Jesse.
Thank you for holding. I noticed that of all the things you said about your father, you didn't tell me one thing he did to you, which says that you haven't given me one reason that you hate your father.
Well, when you think about it, if my parents sold their house and then he stole the money and made it all disappear, then he's done that to his whole family, right?
No, Jay, you have taken other people's word about your father, and because they have turned you away from your father, you are now suffering for it. You're angry. God cannot help you in your life because you're separated from him. Satan is your daddy. And because you don't love your father, your earthly father, you would never be able to love God. You're angry about your life and the condition that you're in. You're suffering the way that a woman would suffer. If you notice, a lot of women suffer sickness and diseases and mental illness and all kind of madness because they have anger. And what you've done, and I don't blame you because it wasn't your fault at the time. You were too young to understand. But your mother have caused you to turn toward her, and you have taken on her identity. And so you have the mindset of a woman, and you're suffering as a woman would suffer. You have the woman diseases and everything.
I agree with all of that.
And so the way out, then, you need to forgive your father so you can turn back to him, overcome your mother, turn back to your father. And whatever he did wrong, it doesn't mean you agree with it. You just don't hate your father. Because if you hate your father, you hate God. and your life is going to
Well,
be like a female.
there are many more things. I'll give you one more example. Right?
Okay.
When he left and he was with his new girlfriend, my mum had 3 kids, us 3 kids, and he went to court and he declared bankruptcy, so he didn't have to legally pay any child support. So the whole time, from when I was about 12 to 18, he paid no child support to any 3 of his children. So I look at that and I can understand that I hate him for that, right?
No, you shouldn't. That's still not your issue. All you're saying is that your father and mother were 2 adults that did not know how to deal with life. Your father married his mother. When he married your mother, he married his mother. Your mother married her father. They were both weak, and they destroyed one another. But unfortunately, your mother is so wicked, based on what you said, that she turned you against him. You should get with your father and hear his side of the story. He did not hate you. He hated your mother. But she has convinced you it was against you. And if you should drop your anger, forgive your father, go and talk to him, see what happened, and forgive him, there's a possibility that your body can be healed. But it's not going to be healed as long as Satan is your daddy. You got to forgive and love your earthly father. You got to stop being angry about your condition and put up no resistance. And then you have peace of mind and you can start overcoming.
Yeah.
You have identified with your mother. Your father have not done anything to you. He's done what most men have done, and they hate their mother, so they end up marrying or living with or dating their mothers, and they can't handle it. It's not against the children. It's against the father and the mother. But your mother set you up to suffer by making you think it was against her. I bet you she never told you, you know what, Jay, I was hell to deal with. Your father didn't know how to handle me. He was married to his mother. I was just like his mother. I wouldn't reason with him. Everything he tried to do, I was against it. I didn't listen to him, and I drove him nuts. She never told you what she did.
Yeah, as I've gotten older, I think I can start to see that, especially since I started watching your show.
Yeah. Your mother has not admitted to anything she did wrong.
Yeah. And I've definitely, I can see how over the years she's played the victim.
Yes.
And
women are not victims. Women are victimizers. They're not victims.
Yeah. Since I was a little kid, because I'm the middle child, and I don't know if that has anything to do with it, but my brother and sister were always off doing their own thing.
Yes.
And I was always the one, looking after Mom. And
I'm sorry to hear that.
as I became a man, he kind of guilt-tripped me, like,
yes.
Oh, I'm alone, and what am I going to do, and who's going to look after me? And I've felt all my life like I have to, really make it and make good money because no one cares about Mom. I have to look after her. And it's made everything so much worse. And I'm the worst off of all the children.
She made you her husband. She made you her husband out of guilt.
Yeah, well, you know what's worse?
What?
I'm living with her right now.
What?
This is my medical thing. Yes. Yep.
You living with the devil.
Yep.
Well,
that's what I mean, though, Jeffy. Like, I got fired from the last 3 jobs for being, sleepy and not performing, and it's just hell.
How old are you, Jay?
Everything 30.
Jay, you need to really start seeking within. Oh, forgive your mother for screwing your life up, turning you away from your father, playing victim, causing you to hate your father. And I don't know if you're able to find your father and have a talk with him, but forgive your father. Whatever he did, he could not help him. He was married to his mama. and you need to get up and start living. You need to get away from. I don't know your condition if you're able to take care of yourself, but you need to find a job. If you can't afford to take care of yourself, hire a nurse or somebody to come by, feed you, and do whatever they do. And you need to go and live your life. Your mother is sucking the life out of you.
Yeah.
And your father is not your problem. Your mother is the problem. She's the one set you up.
It seems like it.
You need to forgive her for what she's done. She couldn't help it. It was wrong. It's evil. But she hate her mother. She hate her father. She's not having a good life, and she's put that upon you. Your father didn't, based on everything you just said, your father didn't do anything to you. Nothing.
Right.
He was just too weak to deal with your mother. He didn't understand. He didn't understand the spirit of the woman and what he was dealing with.
Yeah.
But he didn't do anything to you, Jay. Do you see that?
Well, I don't know, because here's the thing.
Men don't want to pay their money to women who won't let them see their children, who are trying to control everything and taking their children away from them and all that. They know your father is worth more than money. You needed him, not his money.
Yeah. You know what my mom said about him recently?
What?
My brother, my older brother, he has 2 little kids.
Yes.
And they're her only grandchildren. And she said to me, I think he's in contact with your father. This is about a year ago. And I said, oh, well, it's his life. And if he wants to do that, that's his business.
That's right.
He's 33 years old.
Yes.
And she said to me that if she finds out that he's in contact with him, she's going to disown him. And she's willing to never see her grandchildren again, never see her son again.
Wow. She doesn't deserve to see the grandkids nor be around them or your brother. I would recommend you tell your mother, if she ever mentions your father again, that you don't want anything to do with her, to never talk to you about your father again. Your mother hates your father, man, based on what you're telling me.
She hates him.
Yeah, and she hates you guys if you have any identity from your father.
Yeah.
Your mother has turned you into a woman.
Yep. Beta male.
Beta. But you know what? You're fortunate in that you're realizing this now. You're still young. You're 30-something years old. You're still young. You can get up and live. Forgive your mother so you can be born again, overcome your mama, and return to your father. And you'll have an amazing life. Don't let her put your father down ever again.
Okay.
Tell her to back off. You don't want to hear whatever her hatred is toward your father. That's on her. And it has nothing to do with you. And she's wrong for turning you guys away from your father.
Yeah. Do you think that I should read your book, From Rage to Responsibility, before talking to her?
I highly recommend you read From Rage to Responsibility, man. It's an amazing book. It talked about how I was able to overcome all that stuff. And I highly recommend you start doing the silent prayer video.
I'm doing that, yeah.
Well, stay with it. Are you doing it morning and nights?
Yes.
Oh, good. You're waking up. You're going to be fine. You got to get away from your mother, though. You got to get her out of your life. She's dangerous.
I know, and I've really been trying to figure out an income, a reliable income.
Well, you're a smart guy. You'll find something.
Yeah.
And whenever a man listens to women, they suffer.
I agree, 100%. 100%. The worst thing that ever happened in the West was empowering women.
Absolutely.
And feminism.
Yes. So you can go to Amazon.com if you want the book, or you can go to my website, rebuildingtheman.com, or call 800-411-BOND for the book, From Rage to Responsibility, if you want an autographed copy. But you can order it from Amazon.com as well.
Yeah, I'm going to do that.
But it's time for you to start speaking up to your mother, rebuking her. Stop agreeing with the lies that she's putting out. Don't feel sorry for her. She is not a victim. Women are not victims. They victimize you. They are not victims.
Yeah. I can see now how selfish it really is to guilt trip her children and guilt trip me into, being almost like you said, making me her husband.
Right. She really did that to you when you were young and you were defenseless against her. And you're going to see, you'll see her for what she is, and you'll see that no wonder my father left. He couldn't deal with his mother. Your mother is just like his mother and her mother. And men cannot deal with women like that until they overcome their mothers. Then they can deal with women. That order will come back together of God and Christ, Christ and man, man over woman, and woman over children. That's why Christ came, so men can overcome the woman. So Adam can overcome Eve.
Right. Eve was the one that was tempted.
Right. And then Adam listened to Eve, and she became his God. Christ came and restored that, and now Adam can listen to his father and not to the woman. But he got to overcome mama. He must be born again.
And you know what's funny? This probably all goes in a pattern, but I had, about 10 years ago when I met this girl, like you say, I made the woman my God.
Yes.
And then it didn't work. And then it messed me up for 7 or 8 years. And I can see now that I think that is because of problems with my mother.
100%. If you don't overcome your mother, every woman you get involved with will become your God. She'll become your mama. You won't be able to help it because I see men all the time now. They say, oh, I'm tough. I'm over it. And as soon as they get married, they become boys with their wives. You got to truly be born again in order to deal with women in the right way. But you got to overcome your mother. That's what it means to be born again.
Yeah, most men I know who married their mothers.
Absolutely.
Sure. And it's incredible how many married women 5 or 6 years older.
Yes, absolutely. A man should never date, live with, or get involved with a woman that's married or anyway that's older than him, been married before, have children. You're marrying trouble. Yeah. It's like buying a used car. You got trouble.
Yeah, 100%.
Amazing. So, Jay, here's what you do. Here's what I recommend. Stay with the silent prayer morning and night. Speak up to your mother. Don't react to her. Just tell her, you start to see even more so, and just let her know you realize she was the problem, not your father. And you have to either ask your brother, where's your father? And you need to apologize to your father for resenting him. Because now you understand what really happened. Your father didn't do anything to his children. It was between your father and your mother. Your mother made you think it was against the children, and it's not.
Yeah, I can see that now. I really can.
And as soon as you're able to, so what?
I just said it's so incredibly selfish.
Yes. But women hate the Son of God. They hate the sons of God. They hate their husbands. They hate their fathers. They hate their sons. They hate their boyfriends. They hate their living boyfriends and all kind of crap. Because they hate the sons of God. They can't help it. But our job is to overcome that so we can help the women overcome their father, the devil.
Right. So you're saying a strong man will help make the woman strong.
It will help. It will cause her to repent and overcome her daddy, the devil.
Uh-huh.
Because men need God and women need men.
Yeah. So what's more important, forgiving the mother or the father?
Number one, you got to forgive your mother first so you can wake up.
Yeah.
You have your mother's anger toward your father. You don't even have your own anger because your father has never done anything to you. The anger that you feel toward your father is your mother's anger working through you. It's deceiving you.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a spirit. Your father's never done anything. The only thing that your father did wrong was not protecting you from your mother. And he just didn't know how to do that because he didn't understand the spirit of your mother. He didn't know you were married to his mother. That's why he went and found another woman, because he looking for his God through a woman.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you need to forgive your mother for turning you away from your father, lying on him, and what she's and your grandparents and what they have done to turn you away from your father. And now they're causing you to suffer. But you have a chance to be healed, man. You can have a good life. You're still alive, and God is with you. But you're not going to love him until you love your earthly father.
Yeah.
Jay, I wish you well. Will you let me know how it goes?
I will.
How you
One
feel?
more thing.
Yes, sir.
You should make a Jesse Lee Peterson bobblehead, because I have a Great White Hope bobblehead, and I'll put it next door to it.
I'll jump on that. I've been told that before, and it's a good suggestion.
I will buy that one right now.
I'm gonna have Buzz Love create one.
Yeah.
All right.
And the wall's going up.
Oh, the wall going up.
Yes.
So, Jay, how are you feeling about this conversation? What do you think about it that we have had?
I feel like it's a confirmation of what I had in mind myself.
Yes, absolutely. That's amazing.
I can see now how crazy my mum is, and she's an emotional mess.
Yes, because she's filled with anger. Satan is her daddy, and she can't help it. That's why men gotta. That's why men gotta wake up so they can show women how to overcome their daddy.
Yeah, and she was willing to make her children suffer to get him.
Yes, she was willing to destroy the children to get at the father. Isn't that amazing?
That's incredible.
And she proved it by saying, well, if your brother's seeing your father, I'm not going to see him. I'm not going to see the grandkid. That's evil.
Yeah, that's Satan.
Yeah, all the way.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, I know you probably have a lot of calls to take, Jesse, but, I could talk to you for another hour. But, thanks so much.
You're welcome,
you really
Jay.
helped me, man.
You're welcome, buddy.
Yeah.
And just stop, just relax, and all the physical pain and stuff you're going through, believe me, once you return to your Father and love Him, you're going to automatically love God, and God is perfect love, and in perfect love, all things are possible. You would never doubt again. You would never have fear. You would never have worry. You will accept whatever it is, and you will overcome it. So you have a chance of really having a life, but you got to overcome the fallen state.
Yeah.
All right?
Absolutely. I'm going to call you again, and I don't know when, but I'm going to talk to my mother about this.
Yes.
I'll call you and update you.
Okay. I would appreciate that. And don't let her draw you back in, because she's like a serpent. If you're not aware, she'll draw you back in. She is not a victim.
Yeah, she'll play the victim, I think.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm. All right, Jesse, thank you, man. And, get to work on that bobblehead, all right?
All right, we'll jump on that. Thank you for the suggestion.
Buy one for me and all my friends.
All right. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you, man.
All right, buddy.
Thank you.
All right. Amazing. It's a spiritual battle, and it's in the home. It's outside the home, too. The Old Testament is the world around you, but the kingdom of heaven, the New Testament, is inside of you, folks. It's a secret world inside, and only God will draw you into that world. He's not going to let Satan's children in. I don't care how many Bibles you read, how many holy hands you hold up. As long as you're sinning, you're not going to enter into the kingdom. It ain't going to happen. It just ain't going to happen, because that nature is of Satan, not of God. They can't get along with one another. Break time, and then more calls. Back in a moment.